Just as you start to think Lily actually might be okay, she shows her true colours once again. Or is it her true colours? Big Brother UK, episode 17, and it's time for the housemates to write out their luxury shopping list. They're trying to be sensible, they're obviously trying to meal plan to make sure that everybody's got enough to eat, and they're writing it in sections like meat, veg and dairy. And who toddles along and tries to cause havoc as usual for fucking chocolate and crisps? You've guessed it, Lily. So she comes along and she's writing her stuff on the board. She's not taking budget into consideration. She's not even asking anybody else about what they think. And they're saying, oh, you're taking up too much space on the board. We need space to write the list. And she's just like, I don't care. Somebody in that house is fucking needing to make her care. She's an absolute fucking selfish bitch. So Marcello went into the diary room and he was reading out the list to Big Brother. And obviously they went over budget because when Lily was writing down the snacks, she wasn't taking anything into consideration. And then when he had to take Tang Fastics off the list, she was throwing a hissy fit. And this house full of adults is sitting there just witnessing this and not saying anything. So while we're on the subject to Marcello, I got this comment last night, your boyfriend Marcello will go. And if you've watched any of my other videos, which this person obviously hasn't, you'll know that I can't stand Marcello and I think he's a total skis bag. And in fact, I made a video just about him and how sleazy he was. So when I woke up this morning, I had a DM for this person and it was so bizarre because I've had people message me before and say, oh, I like Big Brother and like we talk about Big Brother or whatever, or I've added you because I like to talk about Big Brother. But this person was literally just trying to defend Ali, and I thought this is actually quite bizarre because no matter how many times I've seen videos and I've not agreed with somebody or I've really not liked somebody, I've never even thought, oh, I'm going to DM them. Is it just me or is that weird behaviour? I mean, maybe this person knows Ali in real life and they're getting really defensive and they're unhinged as well. But, I mean, I'll probably make a video about the conversation tonight when I get home from work because it's just weird. Let me know in the comments, do you randomly DM people to defend people in Big Brother? Strange. So anyway, back to last night's show. They got their shot in the storage room and obviously they were all excited because they're all still emotionally scarred for having to eat porridge for one full day. So Lily grabbed all the chocolate and crisps and I thought, I hope they're not just for her. I hope that's for the whole house. But Martha came out with a jar of Biscoff and Lily was like, oh, give me some, right? So anybody else who's in a house with a lot of people, if they were going to use a spoon, would take a teaspoon. But she took a massive spoon and scooped out pretty much half the jar and then she double dipped it. Now double dipping is something that's acceptable, maybe if you're sitting with your partner or if some friends will sit and do that. But when you're in a house full of different people, you just don't do it. Not to mention the fact that she picks her nose and eats it, and then the other day when she was sick she didn't even brush her teeth after it. When she actually grabbed the jar and went, give me that, and I thought she was going to put her finger in it and eat it, I'd have been like, that, that's yours, I'll just take half of your fucking chocolate and Tang Fastics. But anyway, she ate a lot of the jar and she had put it in the fridge or whatever, and then Shagan or somebody found it. And they were like that, look at this, like we've just got this, and half the jar's been it. So, they ended up calling Marcello or whoever it was into the storeroom and they were like that, look, like half this jar's been it, this is ridiculous. And they were kind of just whispering about it and they were like that, hide the jar. And I was confused because I thought, if that was me, I would just take the jar out into the living area and be like that, who ate half this jar? And then if Lily says it was me, I'd be like that, right, did nobody say anything to her about it when this was happening? Did nobody think that that was a bit selfish? Right, cool, so it's alright for me to just stand and eat the other half of this jar then? People in there are trying to avoid conflict so much, it's actually driving me insane. Emma was sitting talking to Hannah about Lily, and as usual, she's like, oh, if she screams again, I'm going to lose it, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do... She's not. She's literally not. She's been saying this since day one. She was in the diary room literally on day one and she's like, oh, she needs to calm down, she needs to stop or I'm going to snap. Still waiting on her hen. Now, to be honest, it's not as if I want Emma to lose her shit at Lily and scream at her. But she keeps on saying that she's going to do all these things that she's never going to do. And then she was saying, oh, I mean, if an old woman was sitting talking about my daughter like that, then I would want to get into the house and fight. But guess what? Lily is not a child. And I'm sick of saying it, that everybody in the house needs to stop acting as if she's a toddler. Because if she was a toddler, they would tell her off. But they're not telling her off because she's an adult. And that's the thing that I don't get. They're just letting her run riot in the house. At least Hannah took the time to sit her down and say, you need to stop screaming at people, you need to be more tidy, you need to be more mindful. Fucking went right over her head. She does not give one fuck. Her mum was on the Late and Live show at one point and she was saying, oh, that's the real Lily, she's like that all the time, like, we don't want to dull her personality and all that. And that's all fine and well. It's one thing to say to somebody, you're energetic, you're bubbly, you're excitable, like never change for anybody, and that is perfectly fine. But sometimes you have to sit somebody down and say, like, maybe we should be a bit more respectful to people. If you're going to be living in a house with all these people, you can't leave all your plates and bowls sitting and all your dirty knickers lying about the place. Do you know what I mean? That's different if you're in your own house, but you're on national TV and you're living in a house with a group of strangers. Fucking sort yourself out. I've had mixed feelings about Nathan since the start. When he first went in, I was like, a Scottish Tory, no thanks, he can go. But as times went on, I've actually grew to like him. However, he's always sitting in front of that board, bitching about people and talking about how people are so fake. But yet he'll say this person's fake, that person's fake, but then he'll go and be nice to their face. So he's actually being fake as fuck. When he was in the diary room last night, he was talking about Martha and how it drives her insane that she says, that's slay, that's given slay. And that is annoying when somebody says it all the time. It's annoying when somebody says the same thing all the time. But he could just leave a passing comment and be like, oh my god, you always say that. Like, just point it out. It's not difficult. Do these people not know how to have a conversation? Last night, Baked Potato and Sarah were given a secret mission and they had to convince somebody in the house that Nathan was a multi-millionaire and he owned a super yacht. And then they made the story just too over the top, right? But they decided that they were going to tell Martha because she would go and gossip to other people in the house. But I really did not like the way they did this, because when they walked into the room and they were like, oh my god, I can't believe it. And then Martha and Ali were sitting talking, right? And Ali says, oh, I don't think that they knew I was in here. So obviously Ali's going to think that they're talking about her, right? And then I know that they were only allowed to tell one person, but when they called Martha into the bathroom and they were like, oh, come here, I thought that was rude as fuck, right? Like, Ali was just sitting there, like, alright, okay then, like, just go and talk about something and just leave me out. You would be thinking to yourself, why can't you speak to her later when I'm not here? Do you know what I mean? Like, it was really rude and I didn't like the way they did it at all. But then they just made the story too much over the top. And then Martha got upset because she's like, oh, I'm not a gossip, like, I can keep a secret. But yet they told her, and then she just went straight out and told Ali and Lily, which they knew she would. So she didn't really have a leg to stand on. I actually really like Martha and I don't think we get to see enough of her. But what I'm confused about is that if you're going to go in Big Brother and you're going to be that sensitive about somebody saying that you're a gossip or whatever, then maybe Big Brother's not for you. Now, I'm not saying that you have to be thick-skinned and not give a fuck what anybody thinks, but people, you can't get everybody to like you. There's got to be people who think you're amazing and there's got to be people who dislike you. And it was like the other day when they were saying, oh my god, I can't believe they called Ali a witch. That's not a big deal. Do you know what I mean? Like, you could call me all the cunts and bastards to my face and I'd be like, cool. You know? And I actually feel sorry for Martha, but I haven't seen any videos about her that people are saying anything bad about her, but I mean, if she sees anything like that when she comes out, she might take a fucking meltdown. Not really much was happening on the Late and Live show last night, to be honest. I kind of lost interest in it. But let me know in the comments what you thought of last night's episode. Do you think that somebody really needs to sit Lily down and be like that, get a fucking grip of yourself? Also, let me know in the comments, do you usually DM people who say things on TikTok that you disagree with, or do you just leave a comment? Because in all the years that I've been making these videos, and I've also been making YouTube videos for years, nobody has ever DM'd me to say, oh, I disagree with what you're saying. I don't know, it's just a bit weird. I mean, maybe that's just something that people do. But I'll see you again tonight. Bye!